It's Corona time. Ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna do it again. It's Corona time. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, hi guys. Sorry about that. Hello, Salem High School. This is Val with the Salem High News. It's our fourth week quarantine edition. This week brings you an interview with our principal, Dr. Meyer, and then we have a quick look at what we've been cooking and eating. First, let's go to that interview. Take it away, Ethan.
Good morning, Salem High. Here we are with Dr. Meyer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ethan.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and the first one then is, do you have any idea whether school will reopen on May 4th?
So right now, no schools in the state, in the Commonwealth, have clear guidance as to whether schools are going to reopen on May 4th. We're waiting for direction from the governor, Governor Baker, and the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, DESE, as to that. I think it started out where individual superintendents were making their own decisions, and I think that where we are right now as a country, the decisions now are being kind of made above the superintendents. So the answer is, unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for that. Right now, we haven't heard anything to say that we're not coming back, but I think we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so just keep the answer to this next one and, and quick. How is the remote learning at Salem High going to change after break?
Right. So there's been some things are going to stay the same. So the schedule will stay the same. So you'll still see A and B on Monday, C and D on Tuesday, and those times will stay the same. What will change though is that we're going to start moving forward with new content. I think that a lot of people have appreciated the chance and opportunity to make up work if they were missing it. But that can get boring, and I understand that. So I think the teachers are excited to move on with new content, and the students, I think, are going to be excited to do something different and to continue onward. So that's the biggest change that's going to happen, is moving forward with the new material, and as part of that, receiving grades, feedback and grades, so that at the end of the school year, teachers can assign credit for students so that they can move towards their graduation requirements.
Okay. All right. So, uh, um, um, we've been told that one of the other new changes is a not yet option. Can you explain what that is?
Sure. So think about our normal way of doing business. If you think about the school year, if a student didn't pass the class, didn't pass a course for the school year, they might have the option of doing summer school based on the grade that they'd received for the year. So if it was below a 45, they wouldn't be able to do summer school. They'd have to retake the class. So we know that there's a lot of kids that, since the shutdown, don't have the same access to either the internet, or they didn't have their Chromebook for a while, or they're sharing their Chromebook with brothers and sisters, or even that they just, because of their own learning styles, are having really difficulty engaging with the material the way that they normally would with the teacher in front of them. Some kids are working more to help support their families, so they really can't put as much effort into the schoolwork as they would if they were in a traditional school. So the not yet is the option that we've come up with as a way to address kids who, for whatever reason, during the shutdown haven't been able to be as successful as they normally would be. So think about, one easy way to think about it is, if you passed for first semester and didn't pass for second semester, you may be looking at a not yet option. And the difference between that and, say, a summer school is that there's fewer things that you would need to make up in order to show your proficiency.
And so, how is the new grading system going to work? Like credit, no credit? Then?
So, right. So because we haven't really been able to provide the instruction that we normally would, it's not really, it's not really fair to give students a grade based on a lot of independent work and learning in ways that you're not normally used to. So instead of doing traditional grade or a standards-based grade at the end of the school year, we're saying students are going to get credit or they are not going to get credit. So if you passed, then you're going to get credit. But if you didn't pass, you would get no credit. Um, And there's a couple of different, sort of nuance to that. Again, if you had really, really low grades all the way through the year, you might not be able to do summer school, for example. But the credit, no credit, and I would say most schools throughout the country are doing something similar. Most colleges are doing something similar as well. States that, we know that this has been challenging and that you are not showing us what you would normally be able to show us. So we are going to not take that into account for your GPA because that's not fair, right?
Right.
But we are going to, we're not going to hold you back from moving forward with education either. So we're not going to say, you don't get credit because you weren't able to do everything that you would normally do in a classroom. And I saw an April Fool's joke that, that students are going to have to repeat the grade next year. I think it's an April Fool's joke because I think people are afraid of that. And that's what we're trying to avoid, to say that you've shown proficiency to the point where we can move you forward. And you can, if you're a junior this year, you could be a senior next year. So that's the short answer for that credit, no credit.
Okay, so speaking of no credit, does every student who get that automatically get a not yet option as well?
So no, that's not the case. So a no credit can be assigned for students who throughout the course of the year didn't show proficiency, who maybe failed first semester and then didn't get high enough grades the second semester to pass for the year. The not yet option is really being targeted for kids who were making effective progress and passing their classes the first semester, and then didn't pass the second semester because of the shutdown. So that's really what the not yet option is for.
Okay. So speaking of the not yet option, does that also apply to those who don't have internet access?
Absolutely. So when I talked about the not yet option being for kids who are having difficulty accessing, access can mean a lot of different things. It could mean if a student has, if they're an ESL student and they have a difficulty in reading the directions on the screen. It could be if a student has an IEP or 504 where this poses a difficulty. It could be because of a kid that is working extra hours. But for sure, the internet and the Chromebook issue, that's one of the biggest pieces of access, because if you don't have internet, you can't do online learning.
Okay. All right. So I just want to take a moment to say congratulations on becoming full-time principal of Salem High.
Thank you. Thank you.
Personally, I knew you had a lot of promise since day one.
Thanks so much. I'm really, really looking forward to staying with Salem High School. I love it here.
Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you, Ethan.
All right.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Ethan and Dr. Meyer. Sounds like we're going to level up after the break. Next, we bring you a new edition of the Quarantine Chronicles, a short one this time because we need more videos. For this week, we asked you, what's cooking at your place? Let's take a look.
Look, food, egg and batats. I am recording this. Yes.
Pizza, anyone?
So just because we're in quarantine doesn't mean you can't eat healthy. We got some grilled mixed vegetables over here, mad good.
I'm eating some Oreos right now. One of my favorite snacks of all time. Skittles comes in a close second.
Today's Easter, April 12th, so having some Easter candy this morning. I had a cupcake for breakfast as well, so yeah.
Hi, Salem High. Today I'm eating some chicken flavored ramen. I've been cooking mac and cheese a lot. Not the best foods, but they taste good.
For the next Quarantine Chronicles, we want to know what's on the TV at your place. Tell us some of your favorite Netflix shows. Send your saved videos to our Snapchat at Salem High News. That's all we have for you today, Salem High. Stay safe, stay classy, and most of all, stay healthy. See you next week.